Are you looking to run workshops in your business, whether it's online or in-person workshops? Well, this is the video for you because I speak to a workshop extraordinaire who is selling out workshops all the time, and she's going to share her insider tips with you. Hi, I'm Emiley and welcome to my channel. I'm a brand and content strategist and I love helping small businesses build their brand online. So in this video today, I'm really excited to share it with you because I interview Steph Gorton of House of Hobby, which is a workshop brand based in Perth. They run weekend workshops for creatives. So people that are really interested in anything from pottery to painting to floral arrangements to macrame. Like, it's insane what Steph has created. It's such an amazing business. So in this video, I'm really excited to share her insights. She shares a million different ideas and strategies and complete nuggets of gold that are gonna help you create your first workshop or help you improve on workshops you run currently. Let's get into it. Hi Steph, I'm so excited you're here to join me on this YouTube video. I am really excited for my community to be able to see what you're all about, what House of Hobby is all about, and also share your tips about creating a workshop.
Yay! Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Okay, cool. So to start off, I would love for you to just talk about your business and why you started and where you got to where you are today.
Sure. My business is creative workshops. It's called House of Hobby. We run creative workshops in Perth. So all targeted at women, all with bottomless champagne. And we do all sorts of creative workshops from candle making to pottery, watercolor painting to macrame. So we do a whole host of workshops. And yeah, we absolutely love running them. The reason that I got the business started was because I went through a little stage in my life where I was a little bit lost. I was 26 years old and I realized when I was changing jobs at one stage, there was a hobby section of my resume, and I realized that actually I had no idea what my interests were. And even though I went to lie in that part of my resume, I realized I wouldn't even know what to put down, even if I had to try and imagine. And so for me, that was a bit of a wake up call that I needed to, find some interests that were my own that didn't involve drinking wine, which is still a hobby of mine.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
And then, basically went and did a lot of creative courses. So I did a lot of workshops, 5-day workshops, 6-week courses. I did a little floristry apprenticeship. I did all sorts of stuff, only to realize that actually my passion was to bring people together, and to specifically women. And so I kind of thought in Perth we should have something where you can test drive a hobby, come in and try it for 3 hours, and if you enjoy it, then you can take up the official hobby at home, but it's going to save you thousands of dollars booking into a course that maybe you don't even like. So that was the concept. And I mixed in my other favorite hobby, wine.
That's so cool. It's so cool that you've been able to create a business that is so centered around a problem that you were facing, and also something that you're so incredibly passionate about. Even though you didn't have to have those skill set of being able to actually run these workshops yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Totally not creative. Run a business in creative workshops, but totally not creative. But get experts in their fields to come in and run them with me. So it's amazing because it gives up and coming creatives a platform to be able to, market their brands and also practice their workshopping skills. And it gives our audience access to people who are experts in what they're doing. So it's just a win-win.
I love that so much. What do you think's your favorite workshop that you've run before?
It's really hard to pick because they're all very different. They're all really fun for different reasons. I find that our flower arranging workshops are really, really high energy and really fun. And because that's everyone's up and about, everyone's moving, everyone's chatting, and it's a really beautiful atmosphere. On the flip side of that, there's some really calming workshops, like our macrame workshops. Our watercolor workshops are also quite calming, and so they're really nice atmosphere if you're looking to take some time out of your day to relax. So they've all got different things, but yeah, I really do love the flower workshops.
Cool. So why do you think people love coming to your workshops? What's the thing that they're saying that they love most about attending?
So I do a feedback form at the end of every workshop where I ask these sorts of questions. We've had over 2,500 women through our doors in just over a year. So it's been pretty big. So we have a lot of feedback around this question. The number one thing that women are coming in for is to find a little bit of space in their day. I think a lot of the time at the moment, women are not putting themselves first enough. And, you know, we're all busy all of the time. So a lot of women are coming along because they're loving it, that it's fun, that there's no pressure. You don't have to do it right. It's just, you know, you come and have a good time. But the other thing people are coming for is connection. I think, you know, we're a pretty digital world and it can be pretty lonely sometimes. So I think it's really nice to have those face-to-face connections in real life.
Absolutely, and I think the bottomless champagne helps with building connections with people.
Absolutely, yeah. The start of the workshops are always so quiet, and then by the end, everyone's best mates.
That's so cool. Do you have any stories about people that have connected outside of your workshops or anything like that?
Absolutely, yeah. We've had a few, we've had heaps of girls actually that have, you know, got each other's Instagram handles during the workshops, and then you see photos of them 6 weeks later hanging out at a park or whatever, and it's just, that lights me up, because for me, that's what it was all about originally, was to connect women together. And it's so hard to make friends as an adult woman, I think, as an adult, full stop. And I think that if I can help facilitate some of those friendships, then that's year made.
So awesome. So you've obviously got it all together now. You're running amazing workshops and you're creating this awesome community. But I'd love you to tell me about what your first workshop experience was like.
Of course. So this was my first business ever. Obviously, you know, as Emma Isaacs would say, just winging it, and continue to just wing it. I would say my first workshop experience was diabolical, to say the least. My first ever actual workshop failed. So I put it out there to the world. It was a cheese and wine making workshop, which I think if I ran it now would be an absolute hit. But at the time I was like, who doesn't love cheese? And everyone who loves cheese loves wine. So it's going to be a total sellout. I was so confident in what I was going to be offering that I just thought that it was going to work. I stupidly put it on Father's Day weekend without realizing. Making cheese actually requires a lot of equipment, so there was a lot of overheads involved. The ticket prices were really high because of that, and no one bought tickets. And that was just before the end of the year that I started in November 2017. That was at the end of November. And I remember just thinking, oh God, that's a fail point right there. I did actually run a workshop in December, which was my first ever workshop, officially, that people actually came to. And that was a Christmas wreath making workshop. Everyone who came was a friend, except for one person who was a stranger, and I cried when she bought her ticket because I was like, oh my God, I've reached people. But yeah, so they're the two first ever workshops that tried and ran. And they were the first workshop, in the wreath making one, was actually in a park with some pallet tables, and it happened to be a 38-degree day. So of course,
comedy of errors, it's all just piling on top of each other. Yeah.
It was just really amateur planning on my part. And I asked one of my girlfriends, collaborated with me, and she does raw treats. So she brought her raw treats along, but they all melted. It was just one of those things that was just nothing went right. However, that lady, the stranger who came that day, she still comes to workshops to this very day. So that was amazing. And she's actually someone who I talk to online all the time, and she comes along to my workshops, and I just can't believe that she stayed in my little, group.
Why do you think, have you spoken to her about why she stayed or like why she's kept connecting with you?
I have. And for her, it was just that I think we just got on really well. I offer, if you come to a House of Hobby workshop, you'll see, I make a point of going around and connecting with every single person at the workshop. So for me, I think, I really do try and make genuine connections, and I really genuinely am so thrilled that you've chosen to spend your time with me. So I really want to make it special for you. And so I really go out of my way to go around to every single person in the workshop, ask them about their lives, ask them what they do for a living, ask them why they found us and why they're here, and just connect with them. And I think that that's the reason that I get a lot of repeat business.
Yeah, awesome. I love that so much. You've really touched on lots of great insights for anyone that's starting a workshop for the first time. A lot of key learnings in that. But what do you see people doing wrong? Like, what do you see businesses doing wrong the first time they create workshops, or if they've run a couple here and there?
The number one thing that I see them do wrong is the way that they sell their tickets. To be completely honest, like it seems quite minor, but I see it a lot. People are like, you have to put an expression of interest online, and then we'll send you a link to buy tickets, or go onto our really clunky website and go through 6 pages to buy a ticket and then have to enter your card details at the end, or the links don't work properly, or they haven't got a link at all to their ticketing website. There's just so many ways that they do it wrong. We use Eventbrite. Of course, I have a wonderful functional website that I love, but its functionality for me doesn't allow me to have to update and manage tickets. Like we have 4 workshops a weekend, so for me to have to update that every single week on my website would be a nightmare. And also, Eventbrite allows one-click purchases. So you can purchase it. Goes directly onto Facebook. It doesn't take you away from the Facebook page. A lot of people lose trust when they're taken to another page. So if you can buy it directly on Facebook, and if you've already used Eventbrite, it's automatically connected to your PayPal, which means that within 2 clicks, you can have a ticket delivered to your inbox. You've got to make it easy for people to purchase, because a lot of these things are impulse buys. And, people like feeling really inspired in that moment, like, I'm going to do it. And then if you have to send them through 6 pages and a page takes a while to load, they're straight away going, oh, I don't need that really. Maybe I shouldn't go. Maybe I'll pull back a little bit. I'll look at it next week. So make it easy for people to access your tickets.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so simple, right? It's such an administration thing to do. And it makes the world of difference to that user experience.
I couldn't agree more. And companies like Eventbrite, their search engine optimization is really high. So things like someone's looking at Perth workshops, it's going to come up in the first 2 searches. And that's, your business might not, your website might not be at that stage yet. So yeah, definitely try and use a ticketing website that already has so many great features for you.
Out of interest, how much do they charge per ticket, or is there a service fee? Or
Absolutely, yeah, of course. That's how they make money. There's packages, so it depends how often you want to get paid. So I, obviously running a business, I can't wait to the end of my event to be paid. So I have to pay, I get fortnightly payouts, for example. I think the percentage is 5% of the ticketing fee for that. So however much the ticket is, the Eventbrite are going to take 5%. If you want it all paid out after the event, I think it's like 2.2% or 2.5%. So it really depends on how you want to be paid. You can pass the fees on to the ticket purchaser as well if you want to. So it's totally up to you.
Yeah, cool. So if, say, you had a completely online business, how could you create workshops, or what sort of workshops could you create to support and grow your business?
I think if you had an online business, things like webinars would be, like online events would be the place to go. So there's a lot of people doing like Instagram lives where they're really getting people to connect and come on. Workshops are really all about positioning yourself as an expert, or positioning yourself as someone who needs to be listened to in the leadership kind of way. So I think that face-to-face workshops can also be used really well for online businesses, and I definitely don't think it should be overlooked. If you are an online business and you have a large reach, you probably have a large reach in the town that you're living in as well, the city that you're living in. And I think that it's really important to it's social proof. If you can prove that you can fill a room full of 40 people to listen to you speak, or to listen to you speak about your business or the thing that you're passionate about, and you can post those images online for your online business and create that content that you are someone that's worthy of being listened to, or being heard, that's going to do wonders for your business and for your business growth. So as much as I think that, of course, online platforms, Facebook Lives, that you can have loads of people join your Facebook Live and almost have it as like a live webinar going on, where you have Q&A and you have active users. Obviously webinars, Instagram Lives as well, are huge, and people are definitely using those to their advantage. But I definitely would say, even if you're an online business, don't overlook the power of face-to-face workshops.
Yeah, cool. But I love that you've suggested online webinars and lives and stuff like that as well. Would you still create a Facebook events page for a online live event or a live workshop?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely, absolutely. Facebook events, Facebook events are just so amazing. I would honestly give a lot of credit to Facebook events to my success. Because the minute that somebody clicks interested on your event, their whole audience also sees that they're interested. And if you think about the way that you use Facebook, when you're scrolling through your Facebook feed and you see that one of your good girlfriends is interested in an event, you're straight away like, oh, I'm going to scroll back up and just have a look at that, because I want to know if I should be interested in that event too. And so I think it's really important for sure, 100%, definitely use Facebook events for your lives and your webinars and things like that. Especially if you're going to be going, if you're trying to create hype around what you're doing, it allows people to click, interested, attending, and you're reaching multiple audiences by using Facebook that way.
Yeah, I love that. I have run webinars and I didn't do that. So I wish I did now, thinking about it.
It's never too late.
Yeah, I'll have to do it in the future next time for sure. Cool. So I would love you to talk about how you've worked so hard at selling out workshops. You pretty much sell out most of your workshops now. So if you could give 5 tips for selling out workshops.
Okay, cool. Oh my gosh, where to start? I think I had a chat with you earlier and we had 14 tips, so it's really hard to narrow down to 5. However, I will do it. Number 1, we just spoke about Facebook events. You have to use them. You can get such a huge reach. I think some of our pottery events, we've had over 30,000 people say that they're interested in attending. 30,000 people in little old Perth interested in attending our pottery workshops is huge. And we can only have a maximum of 20 people. So,
out of interest, do you capture those people's email addresses somehow, or how do you remarket to them in the future?
You can remarket using Facebook. So the best thing is that now that they've clicked they're interested on your event, you can remarket every single one of those people using Facebook ads. I went through this is a taboo topic actually, but I went through and added a lot of those people on Facebook for my personal brand as well. I also do a lot of course, another tip that I'm going to give, which I'll go into a bit more later, is about posting everywhere and making sure that you're creating hype around your event. And one of the ways that I do that is by posting on my personal page. So if you can make real life connections with these people, or online connections with these people, they can see what you're about and who you are and what you do, you're more likely to be able to remarket to them later on. So that is something that is probably not commonly used, but something that I found has worked really well for me is to, become friends with everyone who comes to my events on Facebook. With my personal profile.
Yeah, I think you just need to be really careful about how much you're using your personal account to promote something, because Facebook might tweak to it and it doesn't like it. But I totally agree, if it's really relevant and you're coming from this more personal tone of voice, so saying, hey guys, this is what I'm up to, this is what I'm working on, that sort of thing, rather than just putting up a photo and a link and saying, here's my latest workshop.
Oh, I totally agree. I actually rarely advertise on my personal profile, but what it does allow them to do is to get to know you and to fall more in love with you so they want to attend your events. Because my personal profile is my personal profile. It's not a business profile. It is all me. It's photos of my partner, my dog, my life. But yeah, it allows people to make those connections with you a little bit better. So my number one tip would be use Facebook events. 100% always. Don't ever run an event on a workshop without using Facebook events. So definitely do that. And on that topic, also beg your friends, family, work colleagues, whoever, to click that they're attending or interested in attending, even if they're not. That just means that you're reaching all of their audiences.
What a great hack. I love that so much. That's a good one. Yeah.
And unfortunately, people aren't going to ask people aren't going to do it unless you ask. So you've got to make sure that you ask people. Sometimes, we sit here and we're like, oh, I really hope my friends share it. But if you create a Facebook messenger group with your girlfriends and say, guys, would you please mind sharing this? They're going to be like all over it. But you've got to ask. So you've definitely got to ask the question. Another tip that I would give would be to create hype around your event. And the way that you do that is using Facebook events, so make sure everyone's going or thinks that they're going, and then post everywhere. So there's buy and sell pages, there's Facebook Marketplace, there's loads of I'm part of a lot of groups for women in Perth looking to connect with other women, and they have days where you can post sales pages and things like that. In order for people to know, to want to come to your event, they have to know about it. And if you're posting in lots of different groups, it just means that you have a lot more reach. So definitely don't be too ashamed or embarrassed to post everywhere. The more people who can see your event, the better, really.
Yeah, absolutely. But would you suggest with Facebook groups is to build a relationship within the group first, or do you just use it on those days where they have like a what do you call it, like sharing Friday or whatever it is, like just post on those days, or try and build something a bit more?
For me, it's all about personal connection. So I really focus on, I would never, for example, ask an influencer to come to an event without having first built a relationship, or I would never, post in a Facebook group without connecting with the group first and, making my presence known and making connections and commenting and liking. And, I spend about 7 hours, is my daily average on my phone, for, being on my phone. And that's because I'm making a lot of real connections with people. So I think it's really important that you're exactly right. Don't just be spamming. You need to be making real connections. Otherwise, people are going to see your business as just one big sale, and that's not attractive for your business. Yeah. And probably my final tip would be on the day of your event, you have to absolutely bring it. So you have to be on fire. You have to give the best service you've ever given. You have to provide, the highest level of customer service. You have to be all over your Instagram stories and Facebook stories. You need to be asking people how they're enjoying it, taking videos and photos, and you have to create a sense of FOMO. You want people to wish that they were at your event, so that the next time you run one, they are desperate to come and they're not going to miss out on tickets. So definitely do your best to make sure they're having the best time. Ask for feedback, ask for Facebook reviews, ask for Google reviews. Don't be ashamed if you know that they're enjoying it and you know that you've done the best you can. Don't be too scared to ask them.
Yeah, cool. I think that power of user-generated content on platforms like Instagram, where people can, post their stories and that sort of thing, just really encouraging that in a workshop and making it clear what your handle is, if there's any hashtags that need to be used, because I know I've been in situations where I've been at events or workshops or whatever, and I've wanted to do a story and I did it, but then I wasn't really sure exactly who I was supposed to be tagging in it, or I couldn't remember it off the top of my head. And so I found if people have it actually physically printed somewhere, that helps a lot.
Yeah, you're totally right. We have our business cards at everybody's place, with the side turned up that has the hashtags and the Instagram symbols and Facebook handles and stuff like that. So I couldn't agree more. You definitely have to have that there.
So as kind of a closing thing, I would love you to just talk about if someone is like, yeah, I want to create a workshop for my business, what should they do first? What's the first step?
I would be going on to, okay, so there's a part on Google Analytics where just in general, and anybody can search this as long as you have a Google account, and you can see what's trending at the moment. So if, for example, if I'm looking at doing macrame workshops, I can see how macrame is trending in my city, and I can also see how it's trending in other cities, and I can see if I want to run a workshop on that. It's one of those things that's, you know, you could have the most genuine heart and the most beautiful idea, but if no one is interested in coming along, you're not going to sell it out. So my number one thing would be do your research and make sure that it's something, you know, do Instagram polls and Facebook polls and really find out if there's actually a market for what you're wanting to workshop, because the time and effort and money that goes into, you know, creating a workshop from scratch and getting, you know, potential speakers in or whatever it is that you're planning on doing, it might not be worth it if you can't sell a ticket.
Yeah, cool. And I think that's where those Facebook groups come back into it as well, is actually connecting with that group and ask them about topics, or if you're planning on doing a macrame workshop, for example, is this something they'd be interested in, and what price point would they like to pay for it, and what would they expect from it, and all that sort of stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do your market research, because sometimes things might seem genius in our ideas, like my cheese and wine workshop, but actually no one wanted to pay what I wanted to ask. So that's exactly it.
Cool. Awesome. So where can people find out more about you and your business?
Awesome. So probably my favorite platform to use is Instagram. So check us out at HOH Perth, so that's HOH for House of Hobby, HOH Perth, or you can check us out at www.houseofhobby.net as well. So I'd love to see some people along to our workshops.
Yeah, awesome. So all those links will be in the description below. So if you can't take it down during the video, they'll be in there. But thank you so much for being with me today, Steph. It has been fantastic. I think you've dropped so much knowledge and truth bombs, and all your experience is incredible. So thank you for coming along.
Thanks so much for having me.
So what did you think? How awesome is Steph? She's got this amazing infectious energy that I can just imagine would be perfect at all of her workshops. I know her attendees absolutely love coming to her workshops, and they continuously refer their friends and family, which is the dream, right? So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel, because I release new videos every Tuesday about marketing and mindset strategies for small businesses, with a real focus on building your brand story online. Next up, go and watch my video about my experience running a workshop, where I share the 7 mistakes that I made running my first ever workshop, so you don't have to make them yourself. But that's it for me for today. There'll be a new video coming out next Tuesday, which I know you're gonna love, so stay tuned for that one. But until next time, bye for now.